everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele, Big D on the other side of the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom. And if you want to watch, at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta. How are you today, D? You keeping warm?
All is well.
My fingertips, once again, I can't feel them. It is so...
I'm sorry to hear that.
But here's the thing. I can feel them. You know, I was having a conversation with a couple of different people. And one person in particular, as you know, he's been on the show a couple of times. Executive Director, AFPI, Florida, Bob Rommel, and he was like, why is it that in the state of Florida, and he's so right about this, why is it in the state of Florida, when it's 57 degrees outside, it feels like 27 degrees outside? It's sticky. It just sticks to you.
Because we're not used to that temperature, so it feels that much colder when it comes.
I don't know, because even people that I know that are from up north or were just there recently or only moved here recently and understand the cold, it's different. It's because it's humid, and the humid just sticks to you. Like it's usually drier when it's colder in different places. Like I lived a year in Salt Lake City and never felt like this. Even when it was 20 and 30 degrees, it was just cold, but it wasn't like sticky. Like I can't get it off of me cold, and that's what it is. And then the second thing is somebody came over the house today I don't know. This sounds so. I was thinking about putting a putting green in my backyard. I think that would be the coolest thing ever. I don't know how much it costs. By the way, if anybody's in Southwest Florida and installs putting greens, call me or reach out. I don't know how you would get in touch with me, but go to drewsteele.com. Steele has three E's, and there's a place to message me. And you can, I don't know, because I would love to do that, although I can only imagine how much it costs. I'm dreaming. It's like, is it a couple of $100? It's probably like a couple of $1,000. Like, never mind. Anyway, the point is, a couple of people came over, and D, it's the sweatshirt with the shorts. The sweatshirt with the shorts. How do you do that? It's 57 degrees. If it was 57 degrees in New York City, you wouldn't be walking around.
Pants.
Yeah, it's pants. It's just pants. And the person who I was talking to was very nice. I said, I don't know how you do this. And he said, well, you know, I lived in Chicago and I'm from Iowa. Okay. Doesn't it get 57 there?
Now you're here.
Stop doing this. You're making us all look bad. And I'm like, I've got my parka on with my, it's all covered up and you can barely see my face. I look like the kid from South Park. Anyway, all right. Enough of me. Enough of this nonsense. Let's move on, shall we? D, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with, all right, I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to start with the whole Ilhan Omar video that people are like, this seems staged?
Oh, man. I don't know what I think about this yet.
I don't either. Or
it has to be staged.
Yeah, we got Marco Rubio on Capitol Hill doing stellar work, and then the left, once again, proving to you that they care very little about American citizens and more about criminal illegals. It was just.
Let's start with the Ilhan Omar.
Okay, let's start with that.
I think we're going to spend a lot more time on Rubio.
Yeah, we're going to spend a lot on everything, just because. All right, so all right, I'm going to wait for that portion of the program in Minnesota. I'm just going to get to Omar. All right, so for those that you saw the video, right, D? You saw the video. I don't know how many people have seen the video. I'll just show a little bit of the video. Here it is, and Ilhan Omar's at this town hall meeting, protests about ICE operations, and there's a dude that's sitting in the front, and she says,
abolishment of the agency.
Right.
ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good.
Okay. And everybody's all excited, and then get ready, because here comes the dude sitting in the front row with, I guess, a syringe, and he's getting ready to jump up in a second. Now, by the way, this isn't the first time she took the podium. She took the podium a couple of times before, and some other officials took the podium. So this was, I don't know, I guess it wasn't like as soon as she took the podium, this guy jumped up. But here it is.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Okay, now you're following obviously you're following what is going on here Ilhan Omar and all of her constituents hate ICE, Kristi Noem, impeachments, because that's what they do. It's all Democrats want to do is impeach. They probably can't spell impeachment, but they certainly love to do it to anybody and everybody. Just ask Joe, right? You know all about it.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. And then here we go. I guess this is moment where everybody is saying she looked up at the dude in the front, and then there it is. And then so he sprays something on her. She goes lunging for him, right? He gets tackled. Like, I had to bring the volume down because there's a little bit of cussing in there. And they get this guy wrestled to the ground. Everybody is like, wow, so he sprayed this stuff out of the syringe on her. And so the guy is telling Ilhan Omar, you gotta get out of here. You gotta go to a hospital. She's like, no, I gotta finish this town hall. I gotta do this. And she's dropping F-bombs and she's like, no, I want to finish. And so what does she end up doing? She ends up finishing. So here's the rub. And D, this is where you have to help me out. Right? Here's the rub. Number one, the 30,000 foot view, Ilhan Omar gets, I guess you could say, attacked. A dude with a syringe squirts some kind of liquid on her shirt there and then starts yelling at her something. The guy gets tackled to the ground. Number one, if you get something sprayed on you, what's your first reaction if somebody puts a substance on your body? What do you do?
Jump back, you're surprised, you try to wipe it off.
Yeah, okay.
Get away from that area rather than moving closer to it.
Right. So what she did was she kind of lunged for the guy almost like she was going to take a swing at him, like this tough guy act thing going on, which is not a natural reaction, but maybe she's like that. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Maybe her initial reaction is if somebody were to squirt me with a liquid and I don't know who this dude is and it's in public, I'm going for your throat. Like, I'm going after you. Maybe that's her MO. I don't know. Instead of, whoa, what just happened? This is gross. This is disgusting. Okay, that's the first thing, right? The second thing is when you have the notion that you don't go to a hospital, like, or you don't get you don't stop the whole thing. No, you stop the whole thing. You don't know what the substance is. You don't know whether or not it is a substance that could really harm someone. And if you are unsure what it is, you get them out of there, especially if it's a representative in Congress. Get the representative of Congress out of the room and get them to some place where they can figure, like the town hall's over. All right, you hate ICE, I hate ICE. I'm speaking as Ilhan Omar. You hate ICE, I hate ICE. Kristi Noem should be impeached. Anybody that's a Republican should be impeached. Impeachment's for everybody. Okay, this is over because I just got squirted with something and I don't know what it is. So can we move on now? I gotta go because I don't know what it is. Nobody would look at Ilhan Omar and say, that wasn't a very good move. That's the smart move. That's the move. All right, so people are like, I don't know. And then obviously you have some that are like, oh, it's totally a setup. I've got other things that I'm concerned about with regard to Ilhan Omar that we'll get to in just a second. Not just this guy that allegedly attacked her, and everybody saw this and his background, and we'll get to that in just a second. But how is it possible that Ilhan Omar can go into Congress with zero money? And she's got a winery that couldn't make money if it figured out how to sell the best wine in California from their property and lie about it. And all of a sudden, it's a $5 million winery. And there's no license. The money goes away. There's all kinds of questions about how she made money with her and her husband. I'm a little more concerned about that part. Well, I'm also concerned about her health because I'm a human being and I think that she should have got some medical attention, not knowing what was happening there. But then people are like, we're going to get to more of this coming up in just a bit. But first, let me get to this. By the way, anytime you want to call 866-588-8303. The legislative session is going on right now, believe it or not. And like I said, when I was there last week in Tallahassee for 2 days, I understand that people love to talk about national issues and national politics. And of course, it's very important, all the things that are going on. But know this, when it comes to the things that are coming right to your front door, right into your neighborhood, the things that are tangible, just like that, we got to talk about Tallahassee and we have to talk about Florida politics. That's why we're going to talk right now with Florida State Representative Toby Overdorf, who's joining us on Florida's Voice, District 85. We always appreciate seeing him working hard, as many are right now in Tallahassee. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Drew. I'm great. You know, we're suffering through another travesty here. What about Bill Belichick? I mean, I cannot believe this. The guy's been denied from the hall. Seriously, it's unbelievable. He's 42-24 against all the Florida teams out there. But, I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, but I guess he's a jerk. Is that what it is? I don't really know what the deal is with that. First of all, now you've pivoted to a very interesting topic because I didn't know this was like the buzz around Tallahassee. I'm glad to see that everything's going so well now with all these other things that everybody's like, hey, what's going on with Bill Belichick? Although it seems crazy. It's not just, oh, you got me started, sir. You got me started.
I know. Let's go.
All right, we're going to go for a few minutes and then, or a few seconds here and then we'll move on. Number one. It is weird that somebody like Bill Belichick could not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That is just, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. If you're like, well, I don't like the guy. It's like, okay, what does that mean? How about
get over it?
Coaching?
He's the best coach out there. And then get over it.
And then the second thing is, we got to talk about the fact that Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl. Somebody who threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Look, there's no doubt that Deion was one of the greatest to ever play the position. Florida guy. We know all about the history, right? As far as playing football. But come on now. You really want me to watch a Pro Bowl where they're going to have a quarterback who's going to be part of a Pro Bowl team, quote unquote, that threw barely any yards. I mean, less than 2,000 yards, I think, and threw more interceptions than TDs. What are we going to do here, sir? How do we change this?
I think it's really appropriate that this is actually a flag football game too. We're not even really playing football. So, I mean, is this really even a Pro Bowl? This is just a bunch of guys getting together, having a good time, maybe some skills, and a bunch of flag football.
That's it.
Whatever.
Oh, boy. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing now, flag football? Is that what they do?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, it shows you how long it's been since I've watched a Pro Bowl. I stopped watching the Pro Bowl because I just felt like, I don't know, they obviously don't want to get hurt. They're just having fun. It's like when you watch the All-Star games. It's like, I don't know. You know, the pitchers in baseball All-Star, they're kind of, I don't know. You feel like every once in a while they'll throw up a homer for somebody, you know, just to light up.
Well, at least the baseball All-Star game was actually worth something now because you get the home field advantage, you know, heading into the playoffs.
That's right.
In the World Series. So,
boom.
I mean, you got that.
That's right.
There's nothing on the line for pro football. It's okay. It's fine. Let them have a good time. They deserve a little recognition for a great year that they've had, and they've risen to the top. So I'll give them that.
Okay, that's it. And that's all the time we have for today. No, just kidding. All right. Anyway, let's get to some of what I talked to a whole lot of folks about when I was there in Tallahassee. As you can imagine, we've talked about before, the property tax issue. Tell me a little bit about what you're working on right now with regard to, and your thoughts on what's happening there in Tallahassee with property tax.
Well, we're still working through the process. As you know, we have a couple of bills that are moving forward within the legislature here. That doesn't mean that those bills are going to be the final that we have. Those bills are, in fact, everything from a complete revocation of homestead property taxes to a variety of exemptions. We're also looking at increasing the Save Our Homes cap, which is the portability. And in many cases, that would, in fact, also result in no property taxes for homestead folks again. So there's a variety of things that we're working on. You know, Drew, I'd like to say this is exactly what we're going to be doing. This is exactly what's going to happen and moving ahead. At this point, we don't know what's going to actually cross the finish line. We're waiting on our Senate partners to actually give us some proposals. And also, we're still waiting on the governor to come up with his proposal as well that we can compare.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I hope we don't wait until later on in the session, because I really do think that the way everyone is talking about this and the ideas that are out there, and look, not everybody's going to win at the end of the day necessarily, and hopefully people understand that, but to have the best that we can possibly do out there within the 60 days, I think it's possible. I think we can do it, but also I do think that it's going to be important that, how do I say this the right way, that people be realistic about what we can do, what we should do, and getting it right. Does that make sense?
It does. And your lips to God's ears as far as the timing as well. The governor, before we started the session, has hinted at a special session for property taxes And frankly, I'd like to make sure that we're doing property taxes during session so that we're actually spending the time with all the representatives here. We're spending the time in committees. We're spending the time with constituents to really lay out a plan that will work well for the entire state of Florida. And I feel like a special session will be all of that jammed in together. And in fact, we aren't going to get really down to the meat and potatoes of what we've got to have done. Now, Drew, don't forget, even whatever we put forward this year and get on the ballot, and I guarantee you there's going to be something on the ballot putting money back in the pockets of Floridians. I absolutely guarantee that. Yeah. That being said, in 2 years from now, we do have our Constitutional Tax Committee. So at that point in time, we're maybe looking at once again.
Okay. Oh, we didn't catch the last part of that because it got a little. Sorry. Yeah, it got.
There we are. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're back yet? I think you're back.
I apologize on that. Yeah, we are going to have something on the ballot. Yeah. We will definitely have something out there. So, and then I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be, but 2 years from now, we are going to have a Constitutional Tax Committee as well that will also convene again. And at that point, we'll probably look at some additional ways that we can deal with taxes here in the state. And that'll be under a different governor at that point in time.
Yeah. And one other thing before we go, I know there's been talk about bump fire stocks. Like what's happening with, what's going on with that?
So it's one of my bills that's out there. It's a revocation of the current regulations that constitutionally bump fire stocks were found to be unconstitutional, frankly, and the banning of those bump fire stocks. So, but the reality is right now that the way that the statute is written, if a gunsmith out there does a repair or something like that on a gun, if say it decreases the trigger pressure from 7 pounds to 5 pounds, they're actually facing a felony. And so what I'm working on right now is to make sure that those folks out there repairing guns, working on guns, et cetera, they don't face a felony for just doing what they're supposed to be doing in their everyday job.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. There you go. All right, good stuff. All right, we got to jump. Listen, always great to see you. All the best. God bless. Look forward to the next time we could speak, okay?
Thank you, Drew.
All right, appreciate you.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much. Florida State Representative Toby Overdorf joining us on Florida's Voice. It's always great to have him on. Important stuff right there. All right, moving on. And even the football stuff is kind of a little weird. I mean, D, I know you don't follow football that much, but...
You don't have to follow too much football to know that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, number one, Bill Belichick doesn't make first ballot Hall of Fame. Seems weird. And then the second part is when you have more interceptions than touchdowns, doesn't matter who you are. You're not a Pro Bowler. You're just not.
Yeah, Deion made a phone call.
You know, well, I don't know about that. I don't know why. Of all the individuals there that play quarterback that could have been picked, you could even make the case that Jackson Dart, who was up for Rookie of the Year on the Giants as a quarterback, could have been someone who been picked. Or I don't think he was picked for a Pro Bowl, but I could see that being a choice. Anyway. We move on. All right. I wanted to get back to the Ilhan Omar thing because I didn't finish my thought. So, and D, I need you to help me out on this too, because a couple of things. You got Ilhan Omar, who has someone that's in the front row right there. And clearly, by all accounts and video that's been out there, someone who was very agitated. Did you see that video? Did you see some of the video that was out there? Of this individual that did this, allegedly, we all saw it happen, was very, very agitated.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, for some reason, like C-SPAN focused on this guy, very agitated. So she gets squirted, I guess, with a syringe with some kind of liquid. He yells. She kind of lunges towards him, which is an odd reaction for somebody. Usually it's like, what's all over me? Get me out of here. But it wasn't. And she continued to do her little presser there, hating ICE and impeaching Kristi Noem. But we're told that the person allegedly charged, who charged at the lefty congresswoman, I guess days before, was talking to somebody and basically said to a neighbor, hey, yeah, can you walk my dog? And the neighbor's like, yeah, that's cool. And then I guess they said, yeah, I'm going to this Omar thing and I might get arrested. Allegedly, this is what one of the neighbors said. And so I guess had plans at this town hall, even some cryptic texts to neighbors as well, along the same lines. And the guy was like, "Hey, don't do anything stupid." Is that what they said? Yeah, just don't do anything stupid. Or I didn't figure they would do anything stupid, but apparently he did. And as you go through more reporting on this individual from the New York Post, he'd been booked into Hennepin County Jail. The neighbors said he was heavily medicated due to a car wreck that affected his spine years ago. And the crash left him not physically able to do much. And maybe that represents a little bit of what was seen on camera. And he looked very agitated. Look, I don't know a lot. Again, other things that are coming up. Apparently, the person that did this has children who are pretty lefty and are into gender pronouns and the like, and it's been all over social media. The kid, because people right away they want to know. They go exploring, and you come to find out, seems like a pretty big leftist, and so is the rest of the family. But having said all of that, the reaction was really strange, really, really strange of Ilhan Omar. Was it a setup? I don't know. I don't know if it was a setup. I'm not sure. Again, all of it seems crazy, but there were people that were like, I don't know if you know this, but we're talking about the same person who not too long ago, and I'm trying to see if I can find the video, and as soon as I find the video, I'll play it. But remember, D, way back when Ilhan Omar and AOC made believe like they were getting arrested. Remember that whole hoax that they pulled where they put their hands behind their back as they were walking next to officers?
I remember AOC doing it.
Yeah, she did the same thing. She was right behind her. And she did the same exact.
I didn't see that.
She did the same thing. Put her hands behind her back as if she was wearing handcuffs, and nothing of the sort. She was not wearing handcuffs, but that little bit of a hoax thing going on. So if people are like, she would never do something that would be hoax-like, Ilhan Omar. I don't know. There was that one time with AOC where they kind of faked getting arrested. But again, I don't know. That's all I've got for now, because I hear the music. Top of the news up next.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills, People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours on your time, your convenience. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast. By the way, speaking of convenience, it's a convenient thing when your air conditioning's running right. It's a real inconvenience when it ain't working at all. And yeah, I use the word ain't. Strata Air Conditioning and Heating, they are here when you need them most, and they are ready to help if you're having issues. one of the good things you could do is the Strata AC tune-up. If you do that, you keep the unit that you have running really, really well. And maybe your unit's 10 years older, and every once in a while, like I'm doing lately a lot, it's got a little bit of cough going on. You know, that whole thing. It's like, oh boy, I need a new unit. And so maybe you want to reach out to Strata Air Conditioning and Heating and ask them about that. StrataAC.com, STRADAAC.com. You ought to call Strata. License number CACO 43953. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines.
Now. AP Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom today. She's got the latest for us. Let's find out what's up. What's up?
Hey there, Drew. A Florida nurse is barred after she posts a viral video wishing harm on White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Good.
I'll have that story in just a moment. But first, topping our news, President Donald Trump unveiling a new initiative aimed at securing financial futures for America's youngest citizens. His Trump Accounts, a program, it's going to automatically create tax-free investment accounts for every newborn, funded with $1,000 from the federal government. Trump says that the accounts could grow to hundreds of thousands by adulthood, helping families build generational wealth. And he highlighted support from major companies and some cultural figures as well. Well, remember that Florida nurse that posted that viral video? Well, she's now been barred from practicing after posting that video wishing harm on White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. The Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer saying that the nurse Lexi Lawler is no longer licensed to practice in the state of Florida. Her comments, if you recall, sparked outrage, with officials calling them an ethical red line. Lawler's hospital fired her last week, and the Department of Health says it can suspend licenses when patient safety is at risk. All right, well, First Lady Melania Trump rung the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange today. This was to mark the release of her new documentary, Melania. It hits theaters this Friday. The film offers an inside look at the days leading up to President Trump's second inauguration, and it follows her as she navigates the White House transition. Faith advisor Paula White praising the film as an absolutely phenomenal one, and Melania's first production company made its debut through this project as well.
Nice.
All right, coming up in our next hour, Governor DeSantis announces a new federal school choice program for Florida families, and this gives parents more options and scholarship dollars to support their kids' education. I'll have details on that at 4:35. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories they're working on, it's very simple. You go to flvoicenews.com, Florida's Voice. That is the website. Okay, hey Dee, do you remember Bananas and Rice Girl, the Somali girl there in Minnesota?
How could I not?
How could you not remember? In case people forgot about the Somali girl, Bananas and Rice Girl, when she took to the podium and I guess was talking about...
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American.
Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. So that's the Somali Banana and Rice Girl there recently, and we played, everybody was playing the video. It's like, I don't really, where's she going with this? I don't understand, and it seemed kind of odd. Well, anyway, there's also, if you're looking at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta, you'll see the picture there as on the right-hand side. That's her doing, I guess, this presser with a bunch of different people about the Somali community and the bananas and rice reference. And if you look to the left, you'll see HSI and police. And you'll see her standing there against the wall. Well, why is she standing up against the wall and the police right next to her? Well, turns out Bananas and Rice Girl has been arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minnesota. No, all right, stop it. Yeah, it's more like that's more what it's. Yeah, so not a good day for force the bananas and rice girl. You know, it's an interesting thing. It's so simple not to get arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minnesota. Hey, D, if I told you I got a really simple remedy, an easy way to not get arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minnesota, you think you know the answer to the question? How do you do that? What do you do?
I'd become Somali?
No, you make sure you don't do it. That's it. You want to know a simple, easy way to not get arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minneapolis? Don't assault them. Just go to work. Do you have a job? What are you doing all day long? What is anybody there doing all day long? Why does it feel like it's the only place in America where nobody has a job? And they got all this time to protest. Well, I guess that in D, probably Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, right? Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Minneapolis, Minnesota are the three places in the United States of America where apparently nobody has a job and everybody can protest all day long. That's all they do. And get all the nice signs and everything shipped in. Yeah, there's a story on that too. We'll get to in just a second. But also a couple of things that are happening. You know, I don't know why this continues to be the case, but for some reason, you have the leftist, elitist Hollywood types that now feel like there's an opportunity for them to speak out because many people pay attention to what they say. And when it comes to politics and elections, when they say something, it definitely moves in. I can't even say it with a straight face. Nobody's listening to you. Well, they're listening to you, but they're wondering why you're getting involved in a lot of different issues and things when I'm kind of concerned about, number one, if you even know what the issue is specifically. Kind of like in 2016 with the Electoral College and, you could be faithless and vote for Hillary instead of having Donald Trump in office because, Nazis. Oh, yeah, that kind of thing. Or you could be like, hey, do you know who Molly Ringworm is, D? Do you know who that is? Is that oh, gosh, that's not her name.
Ringworm?
I'm sorry, that's not her name. It's Molly...
Ringwald.
Yeah, that's it. I know. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. I think because that's what's trending on X is her name, and it said Molly Ringworm, and that is not kind. We don't do that. This is all about politics. It's not about individuals or people with funny names. So kids, only say something like that once, and then walk away from it, and make believe you never said it because it's not a nice thing to do. Actually, don't do it at all. So here's Molly, who felt compelled to tell the world what she thinks about what's happening in the United States of America, which, by the way, as long as Trump has been president of the United States, hasn't changed at all. It was like this in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, leading into 2020, and then Donald Trump having the election losing the election, and then back right now into 25 and 26, we're back to the same argument discussion. Trump's bad, and now, if you're like, oh gosh, you're going to play Molly Ringwald's audio, why do we care? Here's why you care. I'll tell you why, and then I'll play the audio. You care about this because if this Hollywood leftist elite has any sway or influence on anybody, then you need to hear what she's saying and the context to which she is saying it. Because then there are people that are listening to her who thinks she's right because she's in their favorite. I mean, who doesn't love 16 Candles, right, D? I mean, one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, how many times can you watch 16 Candles and not think Molly, what's her last name again? I forgot. Whatever.
Ringworm.
That's it. Oh, that was not kind. Funny, but not kind. And if you like her that much and you trust what she says, especially when she's talking like you're about to hear, it's not good. Even as a neighbor of somebody who likes her, forget about Trump. Think about your family and people that listen to Hollywood elite. Here you go.
I don't spend a lot of time doing this, talking to you like this, unless I'm, I don't know, recommending a foundation or telling you to get your kids vaccinated against meningitis. But I feel like I can't stay silent, and neither should you.
Okay, so she can't stay silent, and neither should you. Go ahead.
There's something horrible, horrible going on in our country right now.
Yeah, leftists, right? I know, I totally agree with you. Like, it's getting out of hand. Like, you have law enforcement that's trying to do their lawful duty there on the streets of America, and it's what they do. And you have people who are showing up and protesting, and it's not a peaceful protesting. It's violent protest. It's terrible. Oh, that's not what she's talking about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And we have one of the greatest countries in the world.
No, we still do have the greatest country in the world. See, there's a difference there, too. We have the greatest country in the world. What we're trying to do is keep it away from you crazy leftists who are trying to destroy it. See how that?
And I've always been so proud to be an American.
She used to be proud to be an American, but it's different now. I'll bet you if Kamala Harris was president of... Hold on. I just threw up in my mouth for a second. I bet you if Kamala Harris was president of the United States, she'd sure be proud of this country, right? Or when Joe Biden was president of the United States, she was probably like, come on, Joe. Lunch bucket, Joe. But not anymore.
But right now, this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government.
Hey, what's fascism? Oh, don't ask her that because she probably doesn't know what it is. But okay, go ahead.
And ICE is brutalizing people. And I don't care how you identify, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're independent.
Sorry, I don't believe that for a second, but go ahead.
If you don't like to be political at all, it doesn't matter. You have to look at what kind of country you want to live in.
Now wait for it, because it's coming. Why this kind of talk? For some people, it sounds awfully dangerous. Listen.
And I don't think that I need to remind you, just give a little history lesson here.
Oh, here comes the history lesson, everybody. Guess where we're going?
Quick. But, if you look at what happened in France, where I lived for a few years in my 20s, they were taken over by the Nazis. They were invaded, they were taking over, and a lot of people collaborated.
Get ready. Because what happens if you collaborate with a Nazi fascist?
And then there were people that did not collaborate and were part of the resistance. Eventually, they got their country back. And those people who collaborated were found to be criminal. And that is what's going to happen. I mean, you should not support what is going on just because these are human beings.
Let me just stop. Do you see why you say, do I have to really listen to the crazy leftist Hollywood elite? I mean, come on now. Why am I even paying attention? Because if somebody cares about what she is saying, you need to think about this. Because many Democrats are starting to say this. Hey, listen, we saw what happened with Nazis in Germany and France and taking over, and people who were collaborationists. They got theirs at the end of the day. And that's what's going to happen now. You can't support what's going on because you're going to see as somebody who's collaborating with this administration. And if we find out that that's who you are, then when the next president comes in and the administration is not Republican, but they're Democrats, socialists, Marxists, communists, you know what we do. Is that what you're suggesting? Is that what you're saying? That we're going to have a comeuppance? Is that what that is? That sounds like you need to sit this one out and not say things like that. For me personally, I mean, that's how I feel. Because that's, again, leftist, dangerous rhetoric. You need to stop.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned
learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
When it comes to finding love in this economy, you don't need a prince in shining armor climbing your hair. You need someone who will split rent, cook for 2, buy in bulk, share logins, and carpool. That's why Sweethearts wants you to use your head and not just your heart to find love this Valentine's Day. Sweethearts, featuring all the classics plus new sayings made for love in this economy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. First, D, you're probably saying, wait a second, Sweethearts, the candy for Valentine's Day, still a thing? Like, people still eat those things or buy those things? Yeah, so that's a Sweethearts candy ad, D, is what that is. And it sounds like it's the girl who played Snow White, you know, the woke lefty Hollywood
yes.
elitist. Yeah, I think that's who did the commercial. So already, you know, it's like, oh boy. So it's a new commercial that they've got out with practical messages for 2026 on their Sweethearts. So when you go and you're like, you know, you just want to give the candy to your wife and it says like, I love you or be mine or something. Now it says split rent, carpool, share login, all of these different things because it's 2026. And everybody knows because it's 2026, you can't have nice things from your past because somebody has to come along that's really woke along with the advertising agency that's super woke and has to ruin everything. And so there they are. Love in This Economy collection is what they call it. Now, D, a couple of things. First of all, do you go out and buy them just so that in 30 years we can mock the fact that there was a time when people thought this was a good idea and maybe it might be worth something on eBay? Because I'm pretty sure that... No. Because I'm thinking the sweetheart candy might like have a half-life of 500 years. Like, we'll all be gone and the aliens will come and take over the planet and... they'll find it someplace in a safe 500 years from now, and they'll be like, "This is terrible." I mean, they might actually like it's still edible, kind of thing. And then the second thing is, look, I shouldn't do this because maybe it's not fair, but what's worse, sweethearts or Necco wafers?
I don't think I know what a Necco wafer is.
You know those? They're like plates they're like a little roll of what looks like a little baby plate. It's just a round plate and it tastes like chalk. Like it has no flavor, but somehow somebody convinced you. It almost has like a little licorice-y flavor to it. Weird kind of thing, but it's really chalky. And see, it's so bad that you don't even know what it is. Now I got to find one so I can show you what it looks like. But anyway... so that's all I have for that. And once again, another segment where you can't get that 2 minutes back. Let's see. Oh wait, here it is. D. All right. So just so you can check this out. That's what a Necco wafer looks like.
Never seen it.
That right there. You've never seen that thing? It's colorful and no.
I don't eat candy that much. I don't know what that is.
Well, good for you. It's zooming even bigger and bigger. Make it go away.
Necco?
Yeah, it's zooming up.
Is that like Smarties?
No. Smarties actually are like, oh, these are pretty good because they're super sugar-fied. But no. Anyway, let's move on because I'm done with this. I know people are like, please stop. All right, here you go, D. Remember when I said the Ilhan Omar town hall thing, people saying it was a hoax set up and everything. And then there are others that are like, come on, man. It happened. All right. Get over it. It's not like Ilhan Omar ever does anything that's like a hoax, except for that time when she was at AOC. Remember where they were protesting? There were protests going on and the cops came along and took them away. Didn't arrest them, but walked them away. And here's AOC with no handcuffs on, but looking like she was wearing handcuffs. And then Ilhan Omar behind her was like, oh man, I gotta go with her and look like I'm being arrested too. So there she goes walking by, making believe she was wearing handcuffs, but she didn't have any handcuffs on. So I'm just saying that if you were like, hey, they wouldn't really pull like a hoax like that, because that would be, no. Well, I mean, it kind of, sort of, yeah, it's happened.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutVaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's ahead of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom, and you're hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. D, are you keeping warm? Everything okay on your side of the building? Because my side of the building is freezing.
I'm doing fine. How are your fingertips?
Oh, my fingertips are very strange. They feel. I mean, they're there, so that's a good start. And you know, again, that sticky cold, and it's not going to get much better for us over the weekend. And I believe our good friend meteorologist Dave Roberts is going to join us probably tomorrow to talk a little bit more detail about what it's going to look like. But we just need to be prepared for the cold. All right, a couple of other things that are going on. We're watching some things that are happening in Washington, D.C. You know, Marco Rubio has been doing a fantastic job. He's got, how many, 10, 11 different jobs? Like, how many different positions does the Secretary of State?
They just keep stacking up.
Yeah, they just keep putting it in his lap. It's like, here, take care of this. Here's this. Here's another one. But do something with that. But he seems fine with it. And doing a great job, especially when it comes to having to deal with a lot of Democrats whose biggest problem is maybe intellectually not really understanding what's going on, reading too much from paperwork that is handed to them. So you have, what am I talking about? You got Marco Rubio on Capitol Hill. They're talking about the Trump administration and what's going on with Venezuela and oil money and some of the things that we have been doing. He was talking to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee today. And I just want to play a little bit of what was being said because it's quite remarkable. And this is a little audio of Senator Tammy Duckworth, who really didn't want to get off the script of how bad, president is and the job that he's doing and the like. And she's got this script in front of her. And so just a little bit of how good of a job Secretary of State Rubio is doing and having to deal with a lot of these leftists. So here's Senator Tammy Duckworth, who's like,
are we currently at war with Venezuela?
No, we're not in a state of war in Venezuela.
Okay, the Supreme Court has described the Alien Enemies Act as a wartime power, our Supreme Court. And before now, the Alien Enemies Act was only invoked during the War of 1812, World War I, World War II.
Okay, she's still reading off that paper. Stick to the script.
When it was used to intern thousands of innocent civilians. Are you really arguing that the president should be able to wield an internment law?
No, but we're talking about two separate things here. So you're talking about the state of Venezuela or are describing the regime.
And
we're talking about, but what the president designated.
Invoked the Alien Enemies Act.
I know, Senator, but let me be clear with you. No, but what the president was talking about are these gangs that have, and these narco-trafficking groups that are waging war on the United States. There's no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this is happening. Just so Senator Tammy Duckworth and a lot of you crazy leftists out there that listen to us even here in the state of Florida, and we thank you so much, at FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Anytime you want a message, we read your messages. It's cool. But anyway, the point is that when you're talking about what she's describing, we really want to focus on what is the big problem that we have right now. The terrorists, the traffickers, the gangs that are here, and whether or not you believe that these are people who are trying to hurt United States citizens and the country as a whole. So this is what the Secretary of State is focusing on here.
These groups have waged war on the United States. They have waged, for example, Tren de Agua is not just a criminal gang presence in our street. It is a criminal gang directly responsible for narco-trafficking.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law.
Wait. Wait, can I have her repeat that again? Because it sounded like she said rounded up and tortured. Is that, did you hear, did you hear torture? I think I heard torture. Wait, let me just check this again.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law had no criminal records whatsoever.
We didn't torture
Independent, over 75%.
Who did we torture?
Yeah, who did we torture? What are you talking about here? Again, somebody is writing this for her, and you shouldn't read off the piece of paper. You should use your noggin. Actually, read off the piece of paper. Don't use your noggin.
We haven't tortured anybody.
Yeah.
We've arrested people that are members of gangs, and we've deported them. We don't want gang members in our
Independent
country.
investigations have found that many of the men were here legally. If the administration is willing to lie about who it's targeting under this law, what protections do totally innocent people have against abuse? Again, I want to ask you.
I can't do it. So there's, when you start talking about how we're torturing people, right there, it's like, you're out. That's it. We're done with you. Moving on. Who's next? Who's coming up next? Come on, bring it. Because at that point, you're like, really? And that's just a part of what was going on with Democrats and Secretary of State Rubio on Capitol Hill today. Here's another senator, Senator Chris Coons. He's funny. He's from Delaware. So he's got some friends that are pretty funny.
I got hairy legs.
Hey, you're from Delaware too. All right, anyway. So Senator Chris Coons ridiculing the Trump administration because he wasn't being consulted before the attacks there on Venezuela and the capturing of Maduro. And I love how the Secretary of State laid this out for Chris Coons. It's like, there are a couple of things that we have to mention, sir. And then not just that, but we really have to get down to the crux also of another part of this, which is some people that can't be trusted.
Followed. Yet it was being rehearsed. If there was time to practice, there was time to consult. And consulting with Congress is not just some high-minded principle, not some abstract thing, not a nice to have. It's a got to have.
That's what we had briefed Congress upon. This specific mission that you've talked about, one of the reasons why you rehearse it is to see if it's even feasible. To basically go to the president and say, is this something that's even an option on the table? The truth of the matter is that this mission could not have been briefed to Congress because it wasn't even in the realm of possible until very late in December when all of our efforts to negotiate with Maduro had failed and the president was finally presented these options and made these decisions.
Okay, so all the options fail. You've got now the moment where it's presented to the president. It's like, we tried everything, and now we're getting ready to make a move here because we have somebody who's a narco-terrorist, somebody who was not elected in Venezuela. Well, I mean, he said he was elected, and maybe even by a landslide. Who knows? Because that's how they do things when you rig an election. Did I say that out loud? Yeah. And so there's the first part of this, but then there's the second part of the discussion, which is
it was also a trigger-based operation. It may never have happened. It required a number of factors to all align at the right place at the right time in a very limited window. And it wasn't even clear if it was ever going to be possible. There's also the aspect which I do not control, and that is deference to the Department of War on operational security.
Operational security. And now, before we finish up and move on, check this out.
Despite the fact that we had kept this quite constrained, the truth of the matter is that this was leaked. We now know it was leaked by a contractor. The Department of War, that had it been published, would have endangered the lives of people and or would have probably canceled the ability to carry out the mission. So this is a real tension and one that I'm doing the best I can to try to manage within the constraints of two things, operational security and also decisions being made.
Yeah, decisions being made that we would like to have come to fruition and a mission completed the way that we have described it and would like it to happen without you messing it up. In other words, if we would have told you, you would have leaked it. Everybody knows it. You would have leaked it. It already got leaked by a contractor at the Department of War. Can you imagine if we would have told senators, Democrat senators, who hate us already, who are already talking about impeachment once Trump's out of office? Oh, wait, you can't do that. Oh, wait, we could do other things. How about impeach him while he's in office and go after him maybe criminally when he's out of office? Oh, and everybody else who collaborated with him. Yeah, so forgive us if we're not exactly trustworthy of the crazy left in this country. And when it comes to things that are mission critical, that we can trust you to give us not only the facts about things that are going on, but also zip it. Because we know Even Adam Schiff during the whole Russia collusion hoax.
Got the smallest, thinnest neck I've ever seen.
That guy, remember that guy, would be going into a secure area, finding out all the things exculpatory about Trump and Russia and being in league with Putin. In other words, there was no evidence. But he was going into secure areas and telling everybody, you can't believe the things that are going on with Trump. Oh, really? Can you tell us? No, I was in a secure area. It's top secret. Really can't tell you. But oh, boy, when you find out the information that we have, all the while knowing that the information they had was nothing with regard to being in league with Putin. So forgive us if we can't trust you. Also, you did this whole Trump-Russia collusion hoax. So a triple, forgive us if we can't trust you. All right. Speaking of people you can trust, and then maybe some that we're worried about their trustworthiness, let's get to some people that we trust for a moment here. We have Wilton Simpson, who's joining us right now on Florida's Voice. He is, of course, Florida's Agriculture Commissioner. Just have a couple of things I wanted to ask him about because I'm kind of worried about some things that are happening and some folks that are, let's just put it this way, maybe saying and doing things that are not going to be very helpful to get some very important things passed and some bills moved forward. And so I'm a little concerned about this. So let's talk to him about this first. Good to hear from you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Drew.
Good. So I'm hearing that what's happening right now with the Farm Bill. Maybe you can explain to me what is going on. I'm a little concerned about some of the things that I'm hearing about and some of what people have said, even about you specifically, and I'm getting a little frustrated by it. Maybe tell me what has been happening as of late.
Well, yeah, Drew, it's a great question. I'm glad you are asking about this because what you have is you have a lot of misinformation going on. And the misinformation is, about the MAHA movement with the perishable and non-perishable foods. When you're the Commissioner of Agriculture, you're about protecting agriculture. You're not about protecting bad actors. You're about protecting our food supply. We always talk about the affordability of food, but yet you have people come to a committee that's attacking farmers and people who are trying to produce this food at an affordable rate for us. So as they're attacking us, they're saying, oh, well, if you do the Farm Bill the way you have it, it will, and you can't, disparage pesticides and you can't disparage fertilizers. It has nothing to do with our bill. It's the way that they're spinning it to try to gin up support for trying not to kill the Farm Bill. So when you kill the Farm Bill, you are anti-farmer. You're not pro-farmer. When you kill the Farm Bill, you're anti-consumer, not pro-consumer. And so I think you have a lot of misinformation there. You have a lot of folks, but when you start getting to the truth of a bill, when you start getting to the truth of what it takes to be in agriculture and the tools that we should have in our toolbox to protect Florida agriculture, you get a lot of misinformation. And today it's easy to say, oh, you're going to affect the MAHA movement if you pass this bill. It's completely false. Because they have made these false claims, we're going back and looking through it, our language and things. So what we did yesterday in the Senate was we temporarily postponed the bill to make sure that we've got all the tools in that toolbox to get that bill finished. We are going to be back up in the rules, is my understanding, next week. We will get it passed next week. And you have a lot of groups that are anti-farmer, that are spreading lies about the bill. And we're going to next week hopefully have a successful day in the Rules Committee and get it finished.
Yeah, and let me say this, Drew Steele here, Florida's Voice, just so everybody understands me personally. I get worried about bad actors, people who are on the outside looking in, who for the longest time may have had a problem with agriculture, have a problem with certain businesses, have a problem with certain people, and try to find any way, shape, or form that they can do something to spin something that would make something look bad, would make a person, a politician, let's just say, look bad, because that's like their MO, like they're not being helpful. And, I think of certain people and certain groups. I don't know why I think of Captains for Clean Water, but that comes to mind. And these groups that are like Big Sugar.
Well, Drew,
Drew. Yeah, sorry.
I can mention that one to you. They were there yesterday. They were part of the misinformation.
See?
And they're there they're trying to align themselves with the Maha movement, which they're completely opposite of. And they distort the truth. And there's many examples of that. And they've had many run-ins, as you know, locally there with distorting, just outright lying about things. And so it is never our goal to, me and the president has been a good friend of mine. Clearly the president has done an amazing endorsement
and by the
of
way,
me the first time I ran for commissioner.
Yeah, forgive me for interrupting, because a couple of things that come to mind. Number one, let me get this straight. So there are groups that are out there who would make their way to Tallahassee and would have you believe, not you personally, but people that are listening to the sound of my voice, that you somehow, Florida's Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson, somehow you're not Maha. Like the person who, let me get this straight, the person who we've talked about many times getting lab-grown meat out of the state of Florida, the person who was talking about getting whole milk back into diets for kids and that whole important movement there. The person who helped and was talking about getting fluoride out of our water. By the way, the person as well, who I'm talking to right now here at Florida's Voice, the person who we've had many, many conversations about keeping our farms safe as a national security issue here in the state of Florida. So I'm supposed to believe that you're somehow not Maha? Like, how does that work? And then the other thing, you mentioned President Trump. I think here, let me see if I can play this right here. I don't know how many of you have heard this before, but let me just play this.
Florida Agricultural Commissioner Wilton Simpson, who I've been with for a long time. I've been with him for a long time. And I appreciate it. Thanks, Lord. Appreciate it.
Hold on. So that Donald Trump and you being Wilton Simpson, Florida Agriculture Commissioner, and somehow we're going to be led to believe that you're not Maha and on Trump's side. I'm sorry that it forgive me, sir, but it's frustrating because some people have an agenda and it upsets me. That's all. I'll give you the last word on this.
Drew, you said those things much better than maybe I could have put them in, enumerate them, but you're exactly right. Banning fluoride in water last year's farm bill, banning fake meat from being sold in the state, the things that we have done to improve upon agriculture, the nuisance lawsuits by updating the right to farm bill. This is another progression of those things. And anyone distorting, look, any of us can have a conversation about wordsmithing a bill or making sure that we're hitting the mark we're aiming at. And that's what the committee process is for. But what we have here are people that are intentionally spreading false information, making false accusations, and that's what you have here. And you said it best. And for someone to have that opinion is completely false. And you'll see that next week in the committee as it gets through the committee. And I'm hopeful that it'll get through the committee. I believe that there'll be all the Republicans will vote for it. And we've got a good bill here. But this bill is about protecting consumers. It's about protecting agriculture. And the folks who are spreading the misinformation are in most cases anti-agriculture. And that's just the way it is. That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah. And by the way, you could do both. You can protect, like the idea is that it's a zero-sum game. It's one or the other. No, you can do both.
That's correct. And we do both all the time, Drew, as you know. And we spend a lot of time. My team in Tallahassee is the best. And we spend a lot of time working with farmers, working with consumers around this state to draft these bills. There's a lot of freedom in that farm bill this year. And these are very important things to, they say, why is food so expensive? It's because these same people that are saying, oh, we're anti-Maha, are accusing farmers of polluting the Everglades. These same people are attacking farmers on a daily basis, and they wonder why farmers want to sell their land to developers, because they're under constant attack. They're under they're under a constant bombardment from these outside groups that are special interests, and that's what they do. Yeah. And then you think, well, if we want to make farming affordable, if you want food to be affordable, if you want to do the right thing for farmers in the state of Florida, you pass this farm bill, and you can't disparage. Right now today in the state of Florida, you cannot disparage perishable foods because there's laws against it, and there could be some libel there. All we're doing is adding non-perishable foods to the list. we're making them both the same. They're very important to the state of Florida's farmers, and there are many farmers affected by this.
Yeah.
I don't know why when they put perishable in the law, whenever they did 20, 30, 40 years ago, why didn't they do non-perishable at that time? And so anyways, with the MAHA movement, with being healthy, the list of accolades that you said were exactly right. They're all MAHA. They're all, President Trump's done an amazing job at the federal level. And by the way, Governor DeSantis has done an amazing job here in the state of Florida leading on these issues. And that's where we are. I mean, that's the free state of Florida. So we're the free state of Florida until a special interest group wants to, besmudge us.
Yeah,
that's the amazing part of this.
And ultimately, before we go, look, here's the thing. There comes a point when you have a great governor like DeSantis and the job that you're doing now and others have done when it comes to either agriculture or even the environment in the state. What ends up happening is there are certain groups that have outlived their usefulness. And so they have to find a place or some place to go to be useful. And so when all of these things that were demanded that you get done, and you start to see things, reservoirs, and you start to see water moving through the Everglades underneath 41. You start to see all of these different things, movements come to fruition, all of these different things. And these are the things you were fighting for. Well, once these things are satisfied, it's just like anything else. Like once you get something that is quote unquote satisfied, you got to find your next gig. And if you don't have anything, if you don't have anything to do, sometimes you just gotta. I'm not saying make things up, but you have to find your usefulness. And if you're no longer useful, then just go find another gig. That's all I'm saying.
Go find something. And by the way, Drew, I thank you for bringing that up. My first bill in the Senate 12, 13 years ago, one of the first bills I ever put through the state legislature was the Everglades Restoration Act. I've been involved in the funding for the C-43, the 44, the EAA reservoirs. We funded all of the science-based, processes for the Blue-Green Algae Task Force. We've worked hand in hand with it. First, Governor Rick Scott, and then Governor DeSantis. I've been involved in all of those efforts as a senator. And so when you think about what we have done for water in the state and the environment and the $4 or $5 billion we've spent in the last 10 years. The C-51 reservoir, I funded that as a Senate president. We continuously fund these projects to clean our environment up. The Springs funding, I raised it to $75 million a year for the state funding. Septic to sewer projects, we put $500 million in the budget. So because that's where the majority of our pollution comes from in the state. In this year's ag bill, we're saying that you can no longer spread raw sludge on farmland. You have to treat it to a AA grade standard. There are many environmental benefits inside the farm bill as it exists. And so we're very proud of those things.
Yeah, no doubt. Sir, we got to go. We're up against a hard break, but I'm glad you stopped by. Always good to hear from you. All the best. God bless. We'll speak soon, okay?
Thank you. God bless.
All right.
Thanks, Drew.
That is Florida's Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson joining us on Florida's Voice. Top of the news up next.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've you've got to do it. Alfie and his team designed personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Insta. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, blah, 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 blah. All right, top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines. Now.
Sorry, I just blah, 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 because it's all over the internet and where you get your podcast. I just should have said that instead of the blah, blah, blah. I know people drives people crazy. But not Anita Padilla, because she's busy doing other things, like working on the news along with everybody else in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Let's find out what's up. What's up?
Hey there, Drew.
Hey.
First Lady Melania Trump rung the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But first, Governor Ron DeSantis announcing today that Florida will participate in a new federal school choice tax credit program. This one starts in 2027. Now, this is a program that lets taxpayers direct up to $1,700 of federal tax liability to state-approved scholarships. This would give parents more options for private schools, tutoring, and educational supplies. DeSantis also highlighted teacher pay increases, a record high graduation rate, and the launch of Schools of Hope in Miami-Dade, Broward, and in Tampa. Well, remember that nurse that posted that viral video wishing harm on White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt? Yeah, her. Well, the Attorney General here in Florida, James Othmeyer, says that Lexi Lawler is no longer licensed in the state of Florida. Her comments, if you recall, sparked a lot of outrage, with officials calling them an ethical red line. Lawler's hospital in Boca Raton fired her last week, and now the Department of Health says that it can suspend licenses when patient safety is at risk. First Lady Melania Trump, she rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this morning, and this was to mark the release of her new documentary, Melania, that's hitting theaters this Friday. If you're interested in seeing that film or don't know anything about it, let me tell you, it offers an inside look at all of the days leading up to President Trump's second inauguration. It also follows her around as she's navigating the White House transition. Even faith advisor Paula White is calling the film absolutely phenomenal. And of course, this also marks the debut of Melania's new production company. Hey, are you signed up for our daily emails? Well, if you're not, you should be. All you have to do is head over to our webpage, flvoicenews.com, and then sign up. It's free, and it's a great way to stay informed on everything that's happening in the world of politics in Tallahassee and in Washington. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here at Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories they are working on, you go to flvoicenews.com. That is the website, and it's all right there. I got to tell you, Eric Doherty does some amazing work. And it's always great to follow him on X, Eric L. Daw, D-A-U-G-H, our own Florida's Voice, Eric Doherty, Chief Content Officer, because you never know what's going to be popping up. You never know what we're going to discover. Hey, D, you know Eric, right? You've probably met him before in the building.
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him. I just got this sent over, and wow, look, the Alex Preddy shooting, obviously, you don't want to see what has been happening and transpiring in very few counties, sanctuary counties in the United States, 9 to be exact, where most of your riotous protesting is taking place. Now, we come to find out earlier today, and I needed to look it up, and I'll see if I can find it while I'm speaking about it. But we found out earlier today that, do you remember, D, when we were talking about how the fact that We had Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey on because I was hot the other day when we came here on Monday, and I was concerned about the fact that you have somebody who had a concealed carry permit. Okay, fantastic. But at the same time, when you enter into a situation where you have riotous protests that are happening and everybody knows it, that you probably need to make sure somehow, some way, you've got to be able to make sure that you're able to communicate to an officer, let's just say, that you have said weapon, because now you've introduced a gun into this environment. If it doesn't have a gun, it does now. And so just because you're concealed carrying and you have that weapon doesn't mean that you are safe and everybody else is in trouble, because you never know in a certain situation what could possibly happen where it can be taken from you. And certainly if officers don't know that you have said weapon, it could get, well, you saw how it could get. Remember that day we had that whole conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Now, we come to find out when it comes to the state of Minnesota and how to get a permit to carry. One thing that happened today that we discovered, would you look at this? Minnesota requires a permit to carry for concealed or unconcealed handguns in public. And it explains how you go to get it. You county sheriff, application, background check, all of this, how to get to carry the permit, and it's there on your screen. Now, if you go down to the bottom of where you cannot carry a weapon, even with a permit, I don't know if you can see this, but I can't highlight it, but I'm
too small.
Yeah, too small. Let me read to you the second to last line on where you cannot carry a firearm, even with a permit in Minnesota. Public gatherings like parades or protests. Hey, can I say that again? Public gatherings like parades or protests, you are not allowed to carry even with a permit in the state of Minnesota. Now, you can say what you want about whether or not they're doing it right or whether or not this should be the case and constitutionally, and I'm with you, I get it. But this is something we found out here today of what the law describes, to my point, about entering into a protest in that situation, okay? So that was the first thing, part of what was getting shattered in this narrative of, and again, horrible that he was shot and killed. Absolutely. Okay. Back up for a second. When you have a media who will not tell you the truth, who does things like try to describe what took place as something other than what happened, and doesn't want to go back in time and find out whether or not there were instances where Alex Preddy was going after federal agents in Minneapolis. He wasn't some dude that was a nurse that was leaving the hospital and just walking down the street was like, oh, look at this, there's a protest going on. I should videotape this. And hey, what are you doing to me? Like that kind of situation, as the media would like to project and make you feel like that's what went down, which it didn't. Thanks to Eric Doherty, who just pointed this out a little while ago, there's new video that shows the leftist rioter Alex Preddy attacking and spitting on federal agents in Minneapolis a week before this fatal encounter. And we talked about it yesterday. We said, we heard about this. Well, guess what? Now there's video of it. Look at this.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis.
Now, I can't play the audio because there's some cussing back there, but you can see the video. That's Alex Preddy right there kicking the vehicle of ICE agents, smashing the back light fixture, and then ICE officers getting out of the car because they smashed this dude, kicked and smashed the window there, and brought him down to the ground. There once again, is another video and another portion of the video of him yelling and screaming and spitting at ICE officers. Okay, so again, there are people that are going to say, well, that doesn't justify what happened. I'm not trying to justify anything. What I'm trying to tell you is, number one, if you have a concealed carry permit in the state of Minnesota, by law, you are not allowed to bring that weapon into a protest. It's right there. Number two, you have a media who try to make it sound like a dude is just walking down the street and life was taken away from him for no reason, just because they're ICE officers and they're terrible. And third, now we have a known rioter on video a week before the tragic event attacking and spitting federal agents, kicking their back window out, the light fixture there, and then officers getting out of the vehicle to tackle him to the ground. So somebody who looks like, by all accounts, wasn't peaceful, wasn't protesting peacefully, unless you think smashing somebody's vehicle somehow is peacefully protesting, then we got to talk. Maybe after the show. And again, you have, this is what's so frustrating. This is what's so sad. The media has every single solitary opportunity to be honest with the American people about what is going on, and they consciously make a choice not to. They consciously make the choice not to be truthful. You had Ilhan Omar, who was sprayed with liquid at this We Hate ICE event that took place yesterday. After being sprayed, for example, with liquid, Abby Phillip from CNN had something to say about who was responsible for the actions of someone deranged who, by the way, we come to find out it was apple cider vinegar in that syringe, which, by the way, is pretty stinky. Have you ever smelled apple cider vinegar, D? Have you ever had a chance?
I love apple cider vinegar.
I drink it every morning. Do you drink it every morning?
I cook with it.
Oh, really? What do you cook with apple cider vinegar?
Oh, you can brine your meats with it. You can put it in tuna salad sandwiches. You can do anything with it.
Really? Brine meats.
Yeah.
So you let it sit in there, and then, I know what it does. And I'll bet you it like tenderizes the meat because it breaks it down. It's like an acid kind of thing. Is that what it is?
Well, I just like it for the taste. It just soaks in there.
Okay. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. So Abby Phillip, after Ilhan Omar sprayed with liquid, said, because it's a comparison. Western Lesman has a fantastic comparison of the rhetoric and what's put out there on CNN, one versus the other. Here's Abby Phillip talking about Ilhan Omar being sprayed with liquid, and then right afterwards, you're going to hear Abby Phillip after Trump's assassination attempts. So check this out as, again, going back to a media who has a choice to do the right thing, but chooses not to.
Ilhan Omar, in particular, has been the center, and you heard it there from the president, the center of a lot of awful attacks. He called her garbage. Donald Trump is actually responsible for the vitriol. So is there going to be any acknowledgement of that? Should there be? It's not about the politics of the individual. I mean, look at these people. The thing that they have in common is their complete lack of mental stability. Why is that not the conversation? Why are we in this place of who's to blame? Is it the Democrats or the Republicans? The Republicans aren't trying to assassinate the Democrats. And a lot of talk of they. And when it's not a they, it's just a person. It's an individual.
Wow. You following that? So again, in 2026, January, where we are right now, after Ilhan Omar gets sprayed with liquid, she says, well, Trump's responsible for the vitriol. Is there going to be any acknowledgement of that? Well, back in September of 24, after Trump's assassination attempts, she's like, well, why are we in this place of who's to blame, Democrats or Republicans? Excuse me? What? Yeah, as Western Lensman points out, yep, that's CNN, all right. It goes back to what I said before. You've got a choice. You could do one or the other. You could decide to tell the news, just the news, give us the facts, sir, ma'am. All right, I don't know.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Or you could choose not to. And you can choose to tell everybody you're the place to go for the truth and the facts. And then never give any examples of how you do it. Quite the opposite. And another example. By the way, more video coming up in just a little bit. Remember we had Molly, what's her real name? I don't want to say what I was going to say because... Ringwald. Molly Ringwald, actress, Hollywood elitist. I guess she was in 16 Candles, which actually was a pretty cool thing. You know, the Breakfast Club and all those 80s movies. Okay. We played the video of what she was talking about with regard to, hey, listen, don't forget what the Nazis did in France, and they were collaborationists, and don't forget what happened to the people that collaborated with them. Like, this is what she is saying. Where would she get that idea and come up with those kind of thoughts and language? Well, when we come back in just a little bit, I've got it. I've got the place where she's getting it. And it's not some dude who was walking down the street minding his business and somebody put a phone in front of him and said, what do you think about what Trump's doing? And he's like, Nazi fascist. No, it's a politician. It's a Democrat politician saying the most hateful rhetoric you could imagine, which needs to stop. By you leftists, you need to stop it. Yeah, but no. You need to stop it. Coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Now we'll get this, a class action settlement is now being paid out to iPhone users who claim Siri eavesdropped on their conversations. People were like, I feel so violated, and then went back to their therapy session with ChatGPT. It's like,
that's not really funny. Sorry, D. That's just not funny. It was okay, mildly.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, not very funny. Anyway, I think what's more humorous than that is how there's a class action suit against Apple and iPhones that Siri is listening in on conversations. And then once the class action suit talk is over, you go back to having a conversation about whether or not you should get a putting green put in the backyard. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a putting green? I would love to have a putting green in my backyard. I don't know if I can afford to have a putting green, but my son plays golf all the time. He's golf crazy. I step on enough golf balls in the middle of the night to know how much that hurts. That kind of thing. He's crazy about golf. Wouldn't it be great to have a putting green in the back of the house? And then I go on to Facebook, D, and I'm inundated with putting green companies that are trying to get my business.
That's how they do it.
How does that happen? How do you do okay.
Siri's eavesdropping.
Well, it's not Siri. Isn't that Mark Zuckerberg eavesdropping? Isn't he doing that? I mean, he's Facebook. That's not Siri. So is Siri communicating with Zuckerberg?
I just mean the phone in general.
Right. That's a terrible thing. It's a horrible thing. Could you live without your iPhone for one day? One solid day, no iPhone. I'll give you $5. Could you do it?
With the job I have? No.
See, that's not the question. The question is, could you live without it? And yes, you could. If you're saying with the job, yeah, because you will find a way around it. You can figure out how not to use it. The thing I can't figure out is when I'm using it, how does it stop listening to me? Although if there's anybody in Southwest Florida who does putting greens on the cheap, get a hold of me. Go to drewsteele.com and the website, Steele has 3 E's, and there's a little thing like, how can I help you? And then just click there and say, I can help you, because I would love to get, there's no way I can afford a putting green. D, how cool would that be to have a putting green in your backyard?
I feel like you could start most of it and get most of it done fairly cheap and by yourself.
No way. Absolutely not. Well, do you have
I see guys do it on TikTok.
Okay. There's a lot of things that people do on TikTok where it's like, wow, that looks easy. And then you end up doing it. And it's like, hello, a fire department? Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, you don't do this electrical job looks really easy. I didn't know you could. No, don't touch that. Don't touch the electrical box, because somebody on TikTok was showing you in 2 minutes or less, or whatever it is. No, I'm thinking it's a big job, and I probably should stop talking about it. There's no way I can afford it. Like, really? Seriously? Let's move on. All right. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. President of the United States. We got a lot of audio from the president, who just a little earlier today was talking about what he believes is the crown jewel of the great, big, beautiful bill. That's the Trump accounts. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about what the president had to say about the Trump accounts. He was talking about this earlier today.
No provision of the great, big, beautiful bill will prove more consequential than Trump accounts. Under this program, the U.S. government will automatically create a tax-free investment account for every newborn American child, something that nobody really would have even thought of. There were some brilliant people that thought of it for a long time.
I love the idea of Trump accounts. I think it's brilliant, and there's more news on that coming up. The thing I don't like is Democrats. That's what I don't like. And so here's the thing. Is there any way to get it into a lockbox? You know, like, can we make sure that for time immemorial that there's no way that a Democrat could dip their hand in there and say, hey, we're a little short over here. Can we go into those Trump accounts? No, you can't. No. I just want to make sure, that's all.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Quartec? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with CoreTech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for CoreTech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my CoreTech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. All right there. Let's see. Here's some guy named Jeff. He's with Max Defender 8. Jeff Berardoli. I don't know how you say his name, but I just thought you might get a kick out of the fact that he's talking about how there's going to be snow in Tampa. Wait a second. What?
Flurry Frenzy 2026. Or at least that's how it feels on social media right now. You've undoubtedly seen that there's a decent chance of flurries on Saturday night and Sunday. There's hysteria over the chance of flurries here in the Tampa Bay area, and rightfully so. We don't get them that often. And there is a pretty good chance. So in this quick weather hit, I'm going to go through some of the signs. We're going to talk about the latest models and the latest signs that we may actually see some flurries.
All right. I don't have a whole lot of time, Jeff. Just make it quick.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist.
Okay. He's not making it quick. All right. So what do we got?
The chance. Yesterday, we thought it was maybe a 3 in 10 chance.
Yeah.
Now we're in the really category, maybe a 5 out of 10 chance. As we get the high resolution model tomorrow, we'll be able to fine tune this. All
right, that's enough. I'm not saying that Jeff's not a good guy. And I mean, he's a chief meteorologist and climate specialist. He's probably a very nice man, too. But he's saying that the chances are increasing for snow flurries in the Tampa Bay area Saturday night, and even Noah's talking about it right now. So he wanted to discuss it. And I don't want to discuss it because, I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can handle it's bad enough that this cold sticks to you. But no, actually, I got to be honest. I might take a drive to Tampa. If there's a possibility that I would see snow flurries if I go to Clearwater, I might take a drive up there. Right?
I say go for it.
You have to. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to make fun of it, but really, it's cool. I did see, by the way, this month, coming up February, 40 years in Southwest Florida. 40. Oh, thank you. Okay, appreciate that. 40 years living here in the state of Florida, Southwest Florida to be exact. Yeah, it's been that long. And I remember in 1991, I think it was. Thanks, Dave.
What a great year.
Yeah. Why? Was that the year you were born? Okay. I think it was 1991 on Sanibel Island. We walked outside in the evening after the bar closed. Don't ask. And there it was. Snow flurries outside. There was snow falling on Sanibel in Southwest Florida. I want to say it was 1991. So is it something that you never see in Florida? No, it's happened. But all right, so that might be some fun to check out. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Hit me. President of the United States was touting the Trump accounts, which you gotta love, and the president very excited about it as he was discussing. Look, this is a beautiful thing. Get that child's life started out right with a Trump account. I'm laughing because that's like I just did an ad for Trump accounts. But seriously.
Start in life, and that's why decades from now, I believe the Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. And I've done a lot of them. The tax cuts, we've done a lot of them, more than I think anybody. And I think this is going to be one of the most outstanding. Last summer, I signed the great, big, beautiful bill delivering. It made this possible, too.
Yep, it made it possible, too, to do the Trump accounts. And he was going on a little bit to describe about the Trump accounts and also how people are investing in the Trump accounts and helping even in their businesses and the like. And I like the way the president put this.
Everybody's talking about it. Even really people that truly hate me are making this investment. One person hates my guts. He put $1 billion into it. I said, you must like this program a lot because you can't stand me. I said, I do, but I do like you more than you think. They like me more in the last year than they liked me before.
Yeah. Have you seen the markets? Have you seen what's going on? Have you seen the possibility of what is to come with the One Big Beautiful Bill and then some? So, yeah, even people who hate Trump. Can you imagine that day being in life, just in life in general? Like you're trying to do business with somebody and you know this person despises you. And you almost try to avoid them. Maybe they're in your neighborhood or something, or you see them on the streets every once in a while because it's like, wow, this person really hates me. They give you $1 billion towards something that you put out there with your business. You'd be like, wait, what? How did this happen? Like, seriously, like, how did it happen? Well, it's the president is very persuasive. But the president also talked about some other things as well. One of them was about Gavin Newsom and quite a national emergency that he has caused there. The fire victims that still don't have homes, still can't get anything done there. And the president's like, yeah, we're going to take over the permitting and the rebuilding here. I think we'll handle this. We've got the audio on that.
It happened, but we got it all done in 20 days, the whole place. And yet now, still, more than a year later, they don't have permits. Almost nobody is building.
Can't believe it.
So I haven't told this to Lee Zeldin yet, but I'm going to put you in charge of getting permits. I think we're going to override the local authorities because they're never going to have it.
How do you not love the way the president does business, D? It's like, I haven't told the guy that I'm looking at right now who's sitting in front of me, but I got another job for you to do. Just throwing it out.
We're going to talk to Lee on Monday.
Are we going to? Okay, good.
Yeah, we could bring this up.
Yeah, we have to do. What's it like when you're sitting there in front of the president of the United States? He's talking about TrumpAccounts.gov and how exciting that is, the start of a brand new life in this world and getting off on the right foot financially and the like. And all of a sudden he points to you and says, hey, I got another job for you to do. You're going to have to help with the issue that's going on in California with moving ahead these permits so people can start building houses again. That's good.
And when I was told that there's a provision where you can override the local authority to get things done, because it's really, to me, it's a national emergency. What they've done to these people is horrible. It's just horrible. And they'll still vote Democrat. Can you believe it? After all, it's just, they get used to it.
That is an interesting phenomenon. It's almost like hey, we should really dig into what's going on in this area of the country because it seems to me like somebody has to be cheating on something because there's no way that people would still continue to vote for these crazy policies. Like that kind of thing going. I don't know. I mean, that's just me talking.
Although I must say we converted many. We'll probably convert a lot more. But I just want them to get into their houses. And I don't want a big section of the area built into low-income housing. They want to put low-income housing right smack in the middle of it. And that's not the American dream.
Well, It's also not how it should work. Your house burns down. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? You can't get your property back. You're not gonna be able to build here. We've got other ideas. No, that's my property. Like that kind of thing. That's not the American dream. That's not how this works. A couple of other things that the president mentioned. Somehow, I'll just play this before we move on. He made a Rosie O'Donnell comment, but maybe I'll save that for top 5 audio clips because it's pretty funny. But he did bring up Ted Cruz and talking about a brilliant legal mind and something that he could do and maybe would consider in the future. Check this out.
Thing that I like, if I ever have problems, because it's hard to get people approved, he's a brilliant legal mind. He's a brilliant man. If I nominate him for the United States Supreme Court, I will get 100% of the vote. The Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out.
Yep.
And the Republicans will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out, too. Where's Ted? Where are you, Ted?
And indeed, there's Ted. So in less than 2 minutes of audio that I just played here on Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, it says it right there on the lower third on the screen. In less than 2 minutes, he told Lee Zeldin that, hey, I got another job for you, by the way. And to Ted Cruz's face, yeah, not only do Democrats want you out because they would like to see you gone because they might try to fight for that Senate seat there in Texas and think that they might possibly be able to win it. But there are Republicans who would like to see you out as well. Where's Ted? Hey, Ted. Very few people that can do that. And with a smile on his face. And, Ted Cruz is like, I would love to be on the Supreme Court. How do we make this happen? Let's go. I like the idea, too. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Coming up, scheduled to join us in a few more minutes, I believe, is Florida State Representative Michelle Salzman. Is that right? Is that right, Dave? Scheduled to join us?
Scheduled to join.
All right, so she's scheduled to join in just a minute. Maybe we can talk about some other Florida news, some Florida headlines that are out there while we are discussing the great Attorney General of the state of Florida, James Othmeyer. Effective today, Lexi Lawler. Lexi Lawler, who said some vile, disgusting things on social media and was putting out some things that she would like to see happen to certain individuals. I think namely the White House press secretary in a disgusting, horrible, terrible way. Like something that if you are, let's just say, a nurse in the state of Florida and you mention the most horrible, horrific thing about somebody who's pregnant, and I don't even want to repeat it or even think about it, and you're practicing being a nurse, you might think that maybe you shouldn't be doing those kind of things if you're wishing the kind of harm on a newborn baby or an unborn baby and the mother the way we should talk about that. Well, the Attorney General did, because he said being fired isn't good enough. Any healthcare worker who fails to uphold his or her obligation to provide adequate, safe healthcare should not be licensed in Florida. No excuses. When the video came out a few days back and people were disgusted by this, and it's like, this is horrible, horrific. You're somebody who's supposed to be helping people. You're supposed to be saving lives, and you're saying quite the opposite, disgusting, horrible things. Well, effective today, the Attorney General, James Othmeyer, put out on his X account, Lexi Lawler is no longer allowed to practice nursing in the state of Florida. Give me a little doo-da. There you go. Making statements that wish pain and suffering on anyone when those statements are directly related to one's practice is an ethical red line we should not cross. I'm proud of the Surgeon General of the great state of Florida for taking this decisive action. It's kind of important, no? We're seeing this way too much. We played that video yesterday. Same thing. A nurse who was talking the same way about, I'm trying to remember who it was specifically. This was talking about people, ICE agents. And there was a nurse who was talking about the horrible, horrific things you can do to ICE agents to hurt them, to harm them. She claimed, I don't want to kill anybody, but let's make them really, really sick. Like, as a nurse, disgusting, right? Well, that nurse also lost their job They are no longer practicing at the place that they were practicing at. And you would imagine that if the individual was going to get out there once again and try to get a job, that people might second guess whether or not that person would be a good hire. And I think we know the answer to whether or not they'd be a good hire. And the answer is no. Okay, let's see. What else do we have going on? In just a little bit, we are going to talk more about the issue in Minneapolis, not just what we've been talking about, but also what's going on with regard to Ilhan Omar and the spraying of what we found out is apple cider vinegar from someone who seemed a little deranged, you might say. And I know people saying, "Oh, it was a setup. This whole thing was a setup." And I don't know, but it was really odd that she got sprayed with this liquid, and she's at a "Hey, doesn't everybody hate ICE? And shouldn't we impeach Kristi Noem" event? And once getting sprayed with an unknown, disgusting smelling substance was like, "No, I want to keep talking. I want to keep doing my thing." No, that's not what you do, Congresswoman. That's not how people would react. As a matter of fact, if anybody was responsible around her, they'd be like, "Yeah, you're leaving. We're done with this." I mean, it's kind of obvious and pretty easy. You hate ICE. I hate ICE. We think Kristi Noem should be impeached. Okay, everybody go home. Go grab a cup of coffee on the way out, or whatever it is. But there's more to the story that we found out just a little while ago. So we will have that coming up in just a bit. And, oh, by the way, when it comes to deportations in this country and whether or not we should or shouldn't be doing it, and whether or not there are certain people that are talking about the way we used to do things when it came to deportations. Like when Barack Obama was doing deportations, was talking about it, you never had people rioting on the streets. You didn't have some of the nonsense and horrible rhetoric that's out there right now. It sure feels like there are a lot of people who are doing things because either they hate Trump that much. There's this really bad condition known as the Trump derangement syndrome going on.
If you're crazy and you know it sounds like this.
Donald Trump and his extremist allies.
Yeah, that whole thing. Or that we're so onto something that they really don't want it to stop. Like the importation of individuals from across the border and then putting them into certain states. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at this. We got more electors. And hey, look at this. We got more people here in Congress representing the people of this city and this area and this place. And boy, they're going to be Democrats. And hey, we get to keep power, that kind of thing. Along with some of the election nonsense as well. Here's Barack Obama. I don't know how many of you knew this, but in 2010, Barack Obama was president of the United States. And there was some stuff going on, like deportations. And funny enough, in a strange way, the kind of things that are happening now weren't happening then. Even when he was talking about deportations like this.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair.
Hey, do you remember all the riots that were happening in 2010 over those comments? No, you don't. That's because they didn't happen. It's a weird thing how life works sometimes, right? Where you'll have a situation where one president is doing something and everybody's like, we got to riot because, that's the thing to do. It's what you do, as some would say.
This is what you do.
And then there's some presidents that were doing that and nobody was paying attention at all. Nothing. Strange how that works. It's really not. It's actually a thing with Democrats. All right, we got to move on. Let's move on, shall we? All right, enough of me talking. Here we go. We got a few minutes with Florida State Representative Michelle Salzman, who's joining us right now on Florida's Voice, District 1, and working hard there in Tallahassee. How are you? It's good to see you again.
I'm great.
Listen, I'm number one. That's all I need you to say.
That's it. You are number one. You absolutely are. And with all the work that's
District
going,
one.
it's true. You are District 1. So let's talk about some of the things that you are working on right now. One of the things I know you care about a lot certainly is kids and in schools, school safety, for example. I know you've got some things you're working on with regard to school safety. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I was a student at FSU during the school shooting, and I was sitting right here where I'm sitting right now when it took place. And I'm on my phone and I'm in group text messages with several of the students and just getting the video streams of them videoing the assailant or we're talking about who is or isn't on campus. And it was a rough time. And just after that moment, just having that follow-up conversation with different professors and students, and even the kids here, the legislative aides that are here that also are students or that just graduated, trying to figure out what we can do to make the campuses safer. They all looked at me because I was uniquely qualified as a student and a lawmaker, and they were like, "What are you going to do about it?" I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? What am I going to do about it?" But I met with the speaker and just said, "Hey, I'd like to look into it. I want to go meet with the chancellor and the various presidents and more students and the sheriff's office and just really figure out, is there something we can do to help make these college campuses, these higher education institutions safer?" And so just 6 months of diving in and meetings. The university system even did a statewide safety summit where they all took recommendations from the various colleges, the state colleges, university colleges, and they came up with a whole list of things that they thought was important. One of the most critical things that they wanted was us to provide money for them to put locks on the doors so that if something happened, they could actually lock the door, which obviously costs, I think one of the estimates was around $40 million to put locks on all of the doors through all the campuses in Florida. But I went to the staff, the education staff, healthcare staff here in the House side, and I said, there's got to be some sort of great law somewhere in this nation that gives us an idea of what it could look like if we made a statewide school safety requirement, some sort of universal response plan and reunification plan. Who's got that? And it turned out no other state had that. So that put even more pressure on me because I'm like, okay, now if I do it, the whole nation's going to be watching what we come up with. So it needs to be good. We then, circle back with the speaker. There's nothing like this in the nation. What can we do? And he says, well, let's develop a plan based off of what you got, the feedback that you got from all the folks, all the stakeholders. And that's what we did. So the bill that we presented in the committee on was it yesterday was a product of that, and it has so many great things in there. The biggest part that we really enjoy is expanding the Guardian program to the college university system, so we can have trained people on campus at any given time that can respond to that, not just putting the impetus on 911 and getting law enforcement to get to the campus, but having some of those Guardian officers already on campus. And of course, we did really good things with, like I said, the hardening, creating a statewide mandate on how we respond. So anytime anything happens, we'll have that plan reported, a statewide mandate on how we teach our faculty and staff and students how to respond to people as well. So there's some really good stuff in the bill. I was shocked that we got so much support, to be honest with you. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to get unanimous. People always get nervous when you put guns on campus, but some people get nervous. Right. I'm from the Panhandle. It's God's country. It's all. Yeah. We'll take it all. Yeah, no doubt. But we thought it was a good compromise, and it certainly puts us in a better position. It will no longer be a gun-free zone. Yeah. If we have these Guardians on campus.
Can you stay through the break? I just got to take a break real fast. Stay with us here because I want to talk more about this and some other things that are going on with Florida State Representative Michelle Salzman coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Also Instagram. You know, usually right now we do the top 5 audio clips of the day. We're going to do the top 5 audio clips of the day. But before we get to the top 5, I wanted to finish up my conversation because the heartbreak caught up with us. Florida State Representative Michelle Salzman joining us as we were talking about, among other things, school safety. And I wanted to ask about what else she's working on during session here as we are in it. But before I get to that, I wanted to say this because I didn't want this to pass by, how important this is and something that you described. Hard to believe that as you're talking about school safety and obviously as you were describing what was going on there in the campus at Florida State, and what we knew was taking place there and happening at the time. And then you come to the realization when you're looking at legislation and some of the things to harden our colleges, our schools, and you come to find out that really across the country that there's really nothing that you could look at. It's unbelievable that you say that, right? That there was nothing to look at to try to do something here in the state. And so you're trailblazing in a way, and you're also being watched by others across the country. Typical Florida fashion is everybody looks to us to lead the way, and we do, to say, hey, what is it that you're going to do specifically? And I think I don't want people to miss that, how important it is, because it truly is a situation, and in this case, it has come to fruition that we do lead, that people are looking to see what it is that we're doing. They want to know what we're going to do, and that just means that it's got to be right.
Yes. I mean, we weren't even going to, like, every meeting we had, I led it with, I'm not saying I'm filing something. I'm saying I'm looking into it. And I told them, I've researched it. There is nothing across the nation. There's no plan in place. There's no way for me to see some sort of roadmap. We're going to be creating it. And I know that when we create this, the entire nation is going to be watching, and that the entire nation is going to say, well, Florida did it, we can do it too. So whatever we adopt, it needs to be a holistic approach. It needs to be about prevention as well as execution. And the reunification plan piece, like people aren't even talking about that in most states. I think there might be 1 or 2 states that have that tiny component. When you have an emergency, there's no set plan for universities across the states to notify parents. So parents are like freaking out. They don't know if their kid's okay or if their loved one is okay, if it's a faculty member. So creating that reunification plan is going to be a really big component, because now when something does happen, even if it's a bomb threat, or it doesn't necessarily have to be an active shooter, it could be any sort of emergency, the fact that there's no uniform way to report that to parents is crazy to me. I mean, even the chancellor was like, we got to do something about this.
Yeah, there should be something to do. And especially, and I'll say this and throw this point out too before we move on, and it's this. You know, I'm one of the people who believes that, look, children should not have electronic devices in classrooms. I just don't think there's any reason for it. I think it's a distraction. Yeah. There's no reason to have their phones. We've got to find a way to put them away. But parents always bring up that issue that you just talked about, which is what happens if there's something going on in the school? How can you, how am I going to communicate with my child? That's how we have to say, and it's where we would say, look, there was a time when cell phones didn't exist and we were able to communicate. And
imagine that.
Right. And so there has to be something that we can do uniformly in a school or a college where instantly a message or something can go out there. There has to be something that we can do without making it so that these children in high schools, for example, or even in middle schools, have these as the reason why it's okay for them to have the cell phones on them. That's not a good enough reason, because we can get around that. We can figure something out. Of course, it's got to be right, but we can talk about it and brainstorm on this to kind of come up with an idea,
That's what the bill says. It just says that the university system has to create that plan. We're not even telling them how to do it. We're saying you must do it. And they have ideas. They know that they'll have that plan in place pretty quickly. They were very excited about it. One of the reasons why we actually filed the bill instead of just saying maybe not this year was because the governor put it in his budget. Like, the language is in his budget request. So not only did we work with the governor's team and the university system and the sheriff's departments and all of these people, but everybody loved it. I mean, the fact that the governor said, you know what, let's put it in the budget, not just that, you can go work with the representative. We trust that she'll, be a good steward of our information and not take advantage of this opportunity.
Right.
But then they took it a step further and they put it in the budget request. So now the language is there. So it's like, now you have the governor agrees that this is a really good plan. The university system agrees it's a good plan. The parents, the students, the sheriff's departments, all of the different organizations. I could not believe I got a unanimous vote on that bill. I was blown away at the level of support. I mean, because there's stuff in there that most of the time the other side definitely does not agree with. I'm still getting hate mail about parts of that bill, but they all voted in favor. I think just that reasonable expectation that these gun-free zones are very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and that's what happens. And that was why I was so adamant about the Guardian program being a part of the bill, because these people that are doing these crimes, they know that it's going to end in suicide or potential death, and they want the biggest bang for their buck. They want to get the most attention, harm or injure the most amount of people. And you can't do that if people have weapons too. So you find places of vulnerability.
Yep.
And those places of vulnerability are the college campuses, because we have guardians on the high school, middle, and lower education campuses. But we were vulnerable in college. And I just think about the faculty and staff that go to work every day and they have no ability to protect themselves. They're not allowed to bring a firearm on campus. And I think that there's a better way. So this opt-in program will allow the university system to determine who is eligible to do that and how they're going to make that work. And so now nobody's going to know who has a firearm, who doesn't have a firearm, or, it won't be that gun-free zone anymore. So my hope is just having that component will deter them from choosing to use a college campus to make that final act.
Yeah, I love that. Listen, we have to have you back because I'm up against some time here, but we'd love to have you come back and discuss other things that are going on that you're working on. And I have to tell you, what you're talking about here with school safety is fantastic. I love the direction you're going in. I love everything that you're saying. And I really love that there are those who you would imagine would be against it in some way, shape, or form are like, nah, we can get on board with this because they understand how important it is. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's great stuff. So really good to hear. Great to see you, and we'll speak again soon, okay? All the best. God bless.
Thank you.
All right. That is Florida State Representative District 1. She's number 1. Michelle Salzman joining us on Florida's Voice. All right, now let's do this as we do each and every day, usually at 35 after the hour, but now it's a little later. It's the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American. But it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
So you're probably thinking to yourself, why is Drew playing once again a clip of audio that he's already played before in the past? Like, why would he do that? Why is he playing the clip of Banana and Rice Somali girl that was, I guess, from last week? And everybody was like, I don't get what she's talking about. As they're doing this press conference, and people were like, Well, we're doing that because if you notice when the video was up, she was standing against the wall there next to a police officer. Why? Because she's been arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minnesota. You can't make it up. You really wouldn't want to make things like that up. It seems, anyway, let's move on now.
Number 4.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Hey, how could you recalibrate with this dude? Is there any way to recalibrate it so that he's not in office anymore? He's like out of office? If you didn't know who that was, that's Zoran Mondani. If you didn't know, he's the mayor of New York City. Yeah.
His name is Zoran. He is a commie.
Yeah, he's one of those too. He was letting people know at a presser today that I know this is going to sound crazy, that New York City is facing a fiscal crisis at the scale of the Great Recession, and we've got to look inward in savings and efficiencies. That's code, by the way. Means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and most profitable corporations, because if a lefty couldn't take your money, if a commie couldn't take your money, then really what else is there to do? Is there anything else we would take? Or is there...
Number 3.
What about if you're not left or right? You're just a taxpayer like me, a lowly taxpayer, and I'd like to investigate fraud. I want my money back if it was stolen from me. Is that okay or is that not okay?
Listen,
I want my money back.
Well, hold on. I mean, look, Kevin, the fraud is being has been investigated, is
Why are we
being
talking
investigated.
About that?
People are being prosecuted. The DOJ could be talking about that, but what they decided to do instead was send immigration officials into Minnesota.
Wow. That's a spin. Well, I'll tell you, Abby Phillips, CNN, she's good at being bad. Like, politically speaking, bad. So you've got Kevin O'Leary, who's like, I'd like to investigate fraud. I want my money back. If it was stolen from me, I want my money back. Is that okay or is that not okay? I want my money back. I represent taxpayers and I want my money back. And Abby Phillips' answer is, well, we probably would have some kind of investigations. But the Trump administration decided to send ICE into Minneapolis. And because, are you suggesting that because we sent ICE into Minneapolis, where we believe we've got big issues there with regard to some of the fraud and abuse, and also criminal illegals that we would like to get rid of, including every other city and town in the state, that for some reason, because that took place, that's why you're not going to get your money back? Because this was the choice that the administration made. So if ICE would leave, then what you're saying is we could investigate. No, you're not saying that at all, are you?
Number 2.
Follow. Yet it was being rehearsed. If there was time to practice, there was time to consult. And consulting with Congress is not just some high-minded principle, not some abstract thing, not a nice to have. It's a got to have.
That's what we had briefed Congress upon. This specific mission that you've talked about, one of the reasons why you rehearse it is to see if it's even feasible, to basically go to the president and say, is this something that's even an option on the table? The truth of the matter is that this mission could not have been briefed to Congress because it wasn't even in the realm of possible until very late in December.
By the way, because of time, I've got to kind of cut the Secretary of State off as he's describing the reasons why Democrats in Congress were not told about the mission in Venezuela. And the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, went on to say the truth is it was leaked. It was leaked by a contractor, the Department of War. And had it been published, it would have endangered lives of people or canceled the ability to carry out the mission. So in a shorter way of putting it, we can't trust you Democrats. So we really couldn't tell you anything because you know how you are. You all would have just leaked it out and then we wouldn't have had a mission and that would have been trouble. But you wouldn't have cared, would you?
Number 1.
emergency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Oh, all right. That was the moment where Ilhan Omar got sprayed with what we just found out was apple cider vinegar by some crazy dude who was sitting in front of her town hall about how much we all hate ICE and hate Kristi Noem and want her impeached. As people watched it happening, as she went after him to try to swing at him, to bow up on him, as it were, and then was like, hey, I'm going to continue this hate fest, even though you didn't know what was on you. I know some people were like, that seems like it was staged. It feels that way, and you'd hate to think that they would do something like that, but they're Democrats. Anyway, was it? I don't know.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
The tools we have really enable us to never have to experience inconvenience. And in fact, we've gotten into the habit of using them as an escape, so much so that they're not even an escape anymore. It means that anything that is not as easy as those tools is so hard. Friction maxing is the process of building up our tolerance for, quote, inconvenience. One way is to stop sharing your locations that you have to ask, where are you? Stop using ChatGPT, buy a cookbook, text your friends for advice, go to the grocery store, invite people over without cleaning, babysit for someone. These are just like things that we used to do all the time, but that now we have really tried to replace with technology.
What do you think about this, D? There's some new trend that's on TikTok. You know, that's where they all start. Some good, some bad. Called friction maxing. It's about bringing inconvenience back into your life because we've made things so easy for people. Like, what was it? What was that Disney movie where everybody was overweight and floating in space and watching videos all day long and eating because there was nothing else to do or something like that? We've made life so convenient that it makes the smallest of problems feel gigantic. So it's about bringing back problems to help your day-to-day life. What do you think about that?
It depends what the problems are, I guess.
Oh boy, you are whooped by technology, aren't you, my friend? I see how it is. Yeah, WALL-E was the movie. That's right. Way to go, D. So now you've become such a slave to technology. You're like, I kind of like the ease. Is that what you're saying? I mean,
deal with enough problems. Why would you take away my technology?
Well, because it's some of the taking away of your technology is about being able to do basic life functions. It's not about I get to put on Apple Maps and I get to find my way from my city to some other city that's 320 miles away and I don't know where I'm going. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about simple, easy things that you're giving up, like she was describing. And by the way, I don't remember what she was describing. Let's listen.
Your locations that you have to ask, where are you? Stop using ChatGPT, buy a cookbook, text your friends for advice.
Buy a cookbook. Maybe cook out of a cookbook. She said text your friends for advice. Maybe call them. Or instead of calling them, maybe text them so you can meet, so you can speak to them face to face. I don't know. I think there's something to it. But we don't want to get carried away, right, D? I mean, we got to look at technology. We're going to do too much. All right. I see what you're saying. Let me just end with this, if you don't mind. And you can't mind, it's my show. Wow, that was cocky. The DA of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is named Larry Krasner. He's one of these Soros-minded guys. He's trouble all around to me. Because when you start talking about ICE and he says to a group...
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them.
Okay, so he gets out on the street and calls ICE a bunch of Nazis. So you're thinking, well, that's bad. Could it get any worse than that? Oh yeah, it could get a whole lot worse. Here's the same Soros DA Krasner from Philadelphia, who I guess was on a Zoom call today, and he was having a Zoom call with some blue state prosecutors. And let's listen to what he's devising here.
We all know what time it is. We all know what this moment is, and we all know that things are happening that should not be happening, for which people must be accountable now or in the future. So I am delighted to be here.
Whoa. Did you catch that? Let me play that again. It's only 12 seconds long, but listen carefully.
We all know what time it is. We all know what this moment is, and we all know that things are happening that should not be happening, for which people must be accountable now or in the future.
Now or in the future. That's right, everybody. If you're wondering once again what the left in this country wants to do and why we don't want it here in the state of Florida or anywhere else. Together, they're devising plans to prosecute ICE agents on state charges once Trump leaves office. Wow. Have a great day, everybody. Sorry, I hate to leave you with that, but it's too late. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking